Hi, my name is Evangeline Deonjaylese, and I am somebody.
Hi, Evangeline. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I can't complain.
That is good. That is good. So tell me about yourself. Who is Evangeline Deonjaylese?
Evangeline Deonjaylese. Are we talking in third person here?
You
I
can
would.
talk in whatever way you want.
Okay, so Evangeline Deonjaylese, I would say, is someone who just wants to pour into others in a sense where they get an idea more of who they are, and because that helps me learn who I am. I'm a multifaceted individual. I run businesses, and I help other people within their business, and I just help them through like adding their value to the world. So, yeah, I like empowering individuals.
That's what I was about to say. It sounds like you really care about people.
I do.
What do you think caused you to have that approach when it comes to life?
I guess growing up, I always took care of my like family. We had a lot of loss growing up, so that led to me feeling like I had to be the one to take care of the people in my life, whether it was my mom or my siblings. And we moved around a lot, so we're all like close just with my immediate family. Went to like 13 different schools. So being there to really help and nurture them, that just reflected in the outside world around me, really. So even in like school growing up, my teachers wanted me to be a peer mentor. So you can see how that reflects in my life today because I'm always having conversations with people and helping them figure out more about themselves and just literally helping them dig deeper about themselves. It's just always been something that I feel like I've been put in positions to do, so it just became natural.
Would you say that it's stressful trying to help people?
It can be stressful because I can take on a lot of people's energies or their problems, but I think like throughout the years, being in situations, I've learned to not make other people's problems my problems, because if I attach myself too much on there, then I try to be in control. I have certain expectations, and I shouldn't put that weight on other people or on myself.
How do you manage finding balance when that comes?
Solitude, being alone, journaling. I really love to journal. That's a way that I like can just filter everything outside of my brain and be vulnerable with myself to be able to understand what I'm going through, so I can separate that from what I'm really going through and what, the external world is going through.
So people have told me about journaling a lot. I've never actually like sit down and actually committed to it. I've done it here and there, but actually sitting down and doing it's hard for me. It's like dissect my thoughts in my head and then get them out on paper.
Mm-hmm.
How do you manage doing that?
And you know what? A lot of people do say that. I would say how I manage that is through practice. Like it literally starts with being uncomfortable writing about yourself. You may write about yourself. I do this. I used to do this. I would write about myself, and I would just feel so like not as vulnerable. I would be writing, but in the back of my mind, I would be writing as though somebody is going to read it. So it will block me from being vulnerable with myself. And the more I just continue to do it, no matter what that thought process was, the more I became vulnerable. There was a time where I'm like, okay, let's get real right now and really write about like how you truly feel, as though like no one will ever see. And sometimes I wouldn't go to the journal with a prompt or anything. I would just go and start writing. And once you start writing, it's literally your brain working, your intuition working. Once you start writing, like it gets to a point where your hand is uncontrollably moving because, everything that's in my subconscious was just like coming out on the paper. So it just takes practice. Just don't give up, because that's like the key for me to getting very vulnerable with myself, so I can be vulnerable with other people and accept them to be vulnerable to me as well.
Do you feel like vulnerability is a big part of your purpose in life?
Yes. Yes. Because I would say that because it's like the hardest thing for me to do. I preach about vulnerability, but at the same time, it's very hard for me to be vulnerable. It's very hard for me to ask for help, which is part of being vulnerable as well. So I feel like the thing that I have to work through the most is really my superpower, because it becomes my biggest strength. And being vulnerable is definitely that.
I feel like that to be true about a lot of things. It's like a strange contradiction. Like the things you hold closest to you are also the things that you struggle with most. I think it's important to like acknowledge it. So even to acknowledge, okay, I have a problem being vulnerable, but I also know the power of being vulnerable is very helpful. What would you say your life purpose is?
I think my life purpose is really to help people build a deeper connection with themselves. Like help them dig deeper. Because I'm the type of person where I can literally look at you and like see you for who you actually are, but even notice like different mannerisms that, one may have, because I know what it's like to, sometimes be insecure, be lonely, and I know how that feel and how my body reacts to that. So seeing that on the outside, I see that as well. And I feel like if I can see that, I can help somebody through that. I can help them acknowledge that so that they can acknowledge it in themselves.
That's big. What would you say are the three biggest things that keep you going in this life?
The three biggest things that keep me going in my life is definitely my faith, first of all. There was times where I'd just be like, you know what? I didn't have like a real reason, but I had to find it. And it was just having faith that everything will turn out the way it is. Everything doesn't have to have a negative result. I think I'm like, my first thought literally is like negative. So having that faith really keeps me going, keeps me thinking positive and pushing me forward. So that's number one. My family definitely number two, because that's why I do it. I want to build generational wealth for my family, like for them. That keeps me going. And my mindfulness practices, because without my mindfulness practice, Shorty will be in a mental institution somewhere. I would go crazy. So mindfulness practices like journaling, meditating, getting out in nature, practicing solitude. Those three things just really keep me grounded and going.
That's what's up. If you had a chance to tell the whole world on 7.7, I think they said it's going to be 8 billion people this week. So if you had a chance to tell all 8 billion people in the world something, what would you tell them?
It starts with you. It all starts with you. Like, you're a reflection of the entire world around you. The way you react, the way you respond, what triggers you, it all starts with you. A lot of the time, it isn't the people around you or the external things going on. It's how you're dealing with certain situations. And that could be by, triggers, but it's something where you have to take a deep dive inside and really ask yourself why.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
If I have one more question I would ask, how is it that you want to be remembered in this life?
By making people just get closer with themselves.
That's beautiful. I thank you for sitting down and talking in front of me. You're such a positive light in this world.
Aww.
I think that people really need to have that relationship with themselves, and I think you're doing a great job at leading people to developing that relationship with themselves. So continue to shine brightly in this world, continue to be a light, continue to make a difference, continue to make a change. Continue to be you, because remember, it starts with you. At least that's what you said.
It starts with you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.